And it looks like Shai's coming in here with a fairly big army. You'll notice he's 1-1 upgraded. He For this strategy, you tend to stay at Tree of Life, but sort of these are it's very nice to have all these upgrades. And Shai forced to TP in, and Grubby immediately moving out. He was doing a bit of base racing there, and actually he had two huntresses surrounded, and he knew he couldn't do anything with them. He knew he couldn't get them out in time, so he's actually just attacking the hunter's hall because it's something he can actually get done. And he does have pillage as well, so he does get a bit of gold back for them. But a bit unfortunate there for Grubby. He lost sort of a bit too much to really be acceptable. And this is actually quite interesting. Grubby seems to have decided that he can't face Shai head on, who incidentally is at 70 food compared to Grubby's 46, and so he's actually just going for a base race really. As you can see, Shai might have been aware of this, and so actually has surrounded his Tree of Life with moonwells, which means that Grubby has to attack the lesser moonwells to get to the sort of more useful thing. And level 1 Shockwave doing a bit of damage to each moonwell here, and it looks like Grubby is going to have to TP out, and he does TP out, but he will take out 2 moonwells, so that is actually quite nice for him, and he didn't actually lose any units. He will have to pay a bit for salves, but I think that is sort of a fairly good trade, especially considering Shai's now at 75 out of 60 food, so if he wants to build another Huntress, he's going to have to put up 2 more moonwells. I think what Grubby really needs to do now is he needs to just keep on base raiding. Grubby is one of the best players in terms of knowing when to just forsake the army and go for the base. Let's see, yeah, Grubby actually has 2-1 upgrades on his raiders as well, so clearly he has plans to be base raiding, because you generally only go for level 2 attack upgrades on raiders when you're going to be base raiding. And Shadow Tree's taking a bit of damage from the Blade Master there, but it looks like he might... Oh no, he's going to get killed. Yep, down he goes and wouldn't walk away. And Grubby just splitting off some of his raiders. This is very nice here. It's going to mean that Shai's not going to know where to go, because where's his... because, yeah, Grubby's creeping meanwhile with his Tauren Chieftain. Going to get level 3 Tauren Chieftain, which is going to be nice. Level 2 Shockwave is going to be very good for base raiding. And just 5 raiders come in here, and I imagine he'll just take out a Moonwell, and then maybe does he have a speed scroll? No, yeah, he might have to TP, or he might just be able to walk away. Shai must have missed. Yeah, Shai missed a lot of his huntresses there. That's a very bad mistake on his part, and it means that he's not going to get any kills off here. You can see Grubby just ensnared all the units that were chasing him and managed to run away. And this is very bad. Look at this massive army of huntresses here, just sort of roaming the map. And Grubby with his Tauren Chieftain and a couple of grunts is actually coming in and is going to attack the Expo. He's actually going to meet up with his raiders, so probably take out maybe 2 Moonwells, maybe a third, I'm not sure, and then TP out. He does have a TP on his Blade Master. And Grubby taking a lot of damage, but again, he's putting all his hurt units right in front. He actually takes out all 3 Moonwells and does manage to get out without losing a single unit. So very nice there. And look at this army, from 79 food for Shai, so it doesn't even matter that much he lost his Moonwells, just because he wouldn't be producing past 80 anyways. And as you can see, it looks like Grubby was going for an expansion, but actually got scouted by some summoned units and just tries to run away, and gets his peon killed even. And I think this might be what Grubby goes for. He might try and distract Shai with a couple attacks, and meanwhile put up an expansion. As you can see, Grubby has a lot of resources. He has 450 gold, 250 lumber, and I'm actually going in for an attack here. He might just do a hit and run, because he can't really take this army. Yeah, he takes out 1 Huntress, and he looks like he's actually going to lose a Grunt, so not a huge gain for him. But I guess a Huntress for a Grunt is a good trade, because Grunts aren't really useful at this stage. Grubby does seem to be going straight back to the base, and he does have a speed scroll on his Tauren Chieftain. I'm surprised he didn't use it just to get in there a bit faster and so he get a bit more time attacking. And he's diverting his raiders now. Will he divert the rest of his army? Yeah, he's maybe... I'm not sure which way he's actually going to send them. Maybe he's just going for a choke point because he wants to fight? No, he just ensnares a couple hunts and then moves on. And his Tauren Chieftain just sort of bringing up the rear. But you need to be careful against hunts, especially with a big unit like the Tauren Chieftain, because it is really easy to surround with hunts, and it's really easy to surround a big unit. So surrounding a Tauren Chieftain with hunts is just about the easiest thing in the world. And Grubby going again for base raid. Pillage will obviously do very nice, and he's actually moving these raiders behind, which suggests to me that he's going to try and take out the Tree of Life. And it looks like he will make it, just because the Huntresses aren't in a great position. They aren't able to attack these raiders who are at the back here. Grubby needs to use a Scroll of Healing just to keep his army alive, and he does actually TP out, and it looks like he won't actually get this last Moonwell. And Shy will presumably just rebuild the Tree of Life fairly soon. And yeah, again, Shy sending some summoned units down to scout this expo of Grubby just to see if it has been an expo has been put up, but not one yet. And Grubby's actually put up a couple watchtowers in his base. This is fairly clever because he knows it's 77 food against 50, and that's really not something he wants to be fighting, and so he's trying to avoid the fights whenever possible. But if the situation comes where he can't avoid the fight, such as Shy attacking his base, he wants to be able to Grubby having to use a invuln pot there, and might actually does manage to get his windwalk off and gets away, but very close there. And sorry, what I was saying is that if Shy does attack Grubby's base, Shy would probably win without these watchtowers, but since these watchtowers do so much damage to Huntresses, they really count as about 20 food worth of units, and so could actually bring Grubby up to Shy's level. And Grubby was actually building a second Voodoo Lounge just in the corner, but it's scouted and he decides to cancel it before it's even attacked. And Scroll of Protection being used on these units, and that's very clever just because firstly there's so many units, and armor is going to be so important in this matchup, and it's basically a free upgrade for not too much money. And Grubby TPing in and then ensnaring and running, that's really all he can do at this point. He wants to ensnare, he should keep this one ensnared really, because it's getting hit by the towers. I'm not sure if he will get the ensnare off before now. It has got free. He might be able to ensnare another one though. And but no, none of them are being attacked by the towers now, so the towers aren't really proving their use. Shy's having to stick to this side of the map. Like, obviously he wants to be putting pressure on Grubby at this point because it's still 48 versus 80, but he can't be within the range of the towers because the towers orc towers are just so good against unarmored units. And Blade Master 4, Torn Chieftain 3 versus Beastmaster 4. So obviously Grubby has a very large hero advantage, and Torn Chieftain Shockwave actually doing better than I would have expected against mass hunts, because obviously hunts have 600 hit points, so it's even like a level 3 Shockwave isn't going to be sort of raping them like it does to dots, but it is actually doing a fairly good job, I guess, especially because there's no Demon Hunter. He has so much more mana that he can just go crazy really. And Torn Chieftain is probably my favorite hero really. It's such a fun one to use, and as you can see what Grubby's doing at the moment, he's just ensnaring a couple units so that Shy can't run away, and then running back, and this is really just sort of stalling for time at this point. And I think he just wants to get on as many shockwaves as he can before he attacks, and because he's starting to realize he won't be able to attack within range. And now a Kodo Beast here from Grubby, that's very nice, because all the raiders will now get +3 attack, and a Demolisher as well, and those work really, both of those units work very well with lots of raiders, because you can ensnare and then focus with a Demolisher, where otherwise in a sort of at this level the unit would just be microed away before the rock hit. And also you can ensnare and then use your Kodo to devour. So both of those are sort of fairly smart choices, but probably not in too large numbers. You won't really want to be focusing on raiders with a couple Demolishers and maybe only one Kodo just for the aura really, because they obviously piercing's good against them, but it's not as good as siege and an extra ensnare. And Shy forced to TP away. Will he get all his hunts in time? Yeah, he does. And Grubby will probably go try and creep a fairly difficult camp now just to put some pressure on in the later game. And as you can see, Shy's rebuilt his expo and has put up actually 2 wisps here just so he'll definitely scout this. And I think Grubby must have seen that. It's just collected 10 gold and it's running away now. And yeah, Grubby going for the Ogre Lord, which is quite nice. Health Stone as well. That's probably not the best item, but it's alright because it's always nice to have a bit of healing and healing potion sort of combined into one.